Traveling across the United States on $50 a day sounds impossible to most people until they actually break down where the money goes and realize that budget travel in America is not only possible, but genuinely enjoyable once you know the tricks that seasoned road trippers and backpackers have used for decades. The key to traveling the USA on a $50 daily budget starts with understanding that your three biggest expenses will always be lodging, transportation, and food. And if you can control those three categories, everything else becomes manageable pocket change that leaves room for the experiences that actually matter, like standing at the rim of a canyon at sunrise or wandering through a city neighborhood you have never seen before. Let's start with lodging, because this is where most budget travelers either save the most money or blow their entire daily allowance in one careless booking. Hostels are the backbone of cheap travel in America, and while the country does not have as dense a hostel network as Europe, most major cities and popular tourist regions do have at least one solid hostel option, running between $25 and $40 a night for a dorm bed, which already eats up half your daily budget but leaves you with clean sheets, a kitchen to cook in, and often free walking tours or social events that help you meet other travelers. If hostels are not available or not appealing, camping is your best friend, and this is especially true if your route takes you through national parks, state forests, or rural stretches of highway, where campgrounds charge as little as $15 to $25 a night for a tent site, and some dispersed camping on public land in the western states is completely free if you have a vehicle and some basic gear. Investing in a decent sleeping bag, a lightweight tent, and a sleeping pad before your trip will pay for itself within the first week, because free or nearly free camping under the stars often turns into the most memorable nights of the entire journey anyway. Another lodging trick that budget travelers swear by is house sitting and pet sitting through apps that connect travelers with homeowners who need someone to watch their property or their animals while they are away. And in exchange, you get free accommodation, sometimes for weeks at a time, which can dramatically stretch your $50 daily average across the whole trip. Couch surfing still exists too. And while it has become less popular than it once was, there remains an active community of hosts willing to offer a spare room or a couch for free simply because they enjoy meeting travelers and sharing their city. So it is worth creating a profile and reaching out well in advance of your travel dates. Now let's talk transportation, because how you move around the country will make or break your budget faster than almost anything else. If you already own a car, driving is often your cheapest option, especially if you split gas costs with a travel companion, and modern fuel-efficient vehicles can get you thousands of miles for a fraction of what flights or trains would cost. Plus, a car doubles as free lodging in a pinch when you recline the seats and sleep at a rest stop or a 24-hour Walmart parking lot, which many stores explicitly allow for overnight travelers. If you do not have a car, long-distance buses are the next best option. And companies offering discounted intercity routes can get you across several states for under $50 total if you book early, though the trade-off is longer travel times and less flexibility in your schedule. Ride-sharing platforms designed specifically for long-distance travel also exist, connecting drivers who are already making a trip with passengers willing to chip in for gas. And this can be an incredibly cheap way to cover serious mileage while also meeting locals who often share insider tips about the areas you are passing through. Trains are romantic and scenic, but rarely the cheapest option in America the way they are in other countries. So save train travel for a specific bucket list route rather than relying on it as your primary transportation across the whole trip. Once you arrive in a city, walking in public transit should become your default movement style, since most American cities have some form of bus or subway system that costs only a few dollars a day with an unlimited pass. And walking not only saves money, but forces you to notice details about a place that you would completely miss from inside a car or a rideshare. Bicycles are another underrated transportation option. And many cities now have bike share programs where a day pass costs less than $10, giving you the freedom to cover more ground than walking, while still moving slowly enough to actually experience your surroundings. Now on to food, which is where budget travelers either thrive or completely derail their $50 plan, because restaurant meals in tourist areas can easily consume your entire daily budget in a single sitting. The single most effective strategy here is cooking your own meals whenever you have access to a kitchen, whether that is at a hostel, a campsite, or a house sit, because groceries for a day of simple meals like oatmeal, sandwiches, pasta, rice and beans, or trail mix and fruit typically cost under $15 per person, and leave you with enough energy for a full day of exploring. Grocery stores and farmers markets become your best friends on a budget trip. And buying in bulk when possible, especially staples like rice, pasta, oats, and canned goods, stretches your food budget even further across multiple days. When you do want to eat out, which is a perfectly reasonable part of experiencing local culture, look for lunch specials instead of dinner menus, since many restaurants offer nearly identical dishes at a significant discount during midday hours. And food trucks are hole-in-the-wall. Ethnic restaurants almost always beat sit-down chain restaurants on both price and authenticity. happy hour specials at bars and restaurants can also provide a legitimate cheap meal opportunity, often combining discounted appetizers with drink specials that add up to a filling meal for under $10 in many cities. Free samples at grocery stores, farmers markets, and even some breweries can supplement your meals more than people realize. And many cities have free walking food tours or cultural festivals where local vendors give out samples as a way to introduce their offerings to a wider audience. Water is another sneaky expense that adds up over a long trip. So carrying a reusable water bottle and refilling it at public fountains, visitor centers, or restaurants instead of buying bottled water can save you several dollars every single day without you even noticing the difference. Beyond lodging, transportation, and food, the remaining slice of your $50 budget needs to cover activities and entertainment, and this is where research before your trip pays enormous dividends. Many of America's best attractions are completely free, including national monuments, public beaches, hiking trails, city parks, free museum days, and scenic overlooks that require nothing more than showing up. So building your itinerary around these free experiences rather than paid attractions immediately reduces the pressure on your daily budget. If national parks are part of your route, purchasing an annual parks pass for around $80 becomes an incredible value if you plan to visit more than 3 or 4 parks over the course of your trip, since individual entrance fees at popular parks can run between $20 and $35 per vehicle. Many major cities also offer free admission days at museums and galleries on specific days of the month, and simply timing your visit around these free days can save you significant money on cultural experiences that would otherwise cost $15 to $25 per person. Walking tours led by local guides who work for tips only are available in nearly every major American city, giving you a knowledgeable introduction to the history and neighborhoods of a place without spending anything beyond whatever tip you feel comfortable leaving at the end. Nature itself remains one of America's greatest free resources for budget travelers, and the country's incredible diversity of landscapes, from desert canyons to alpine lakes to endless coastline, means that some of the most awe-inspiring experiences of your entire trip will not cost a single dollar beyond the gas or bus fare it took to get there. Planning your route with intention also plays a massive role in staying within a $50 daily budget, because bouncing randomly between expensive coastal cities will drain your funds far faster than a more deliberate route that mixes affordable, rural stretches, small towns, and nature-focused destinations with occasional splurges in bigger cities. Traveling during shoulder season, meaning the weeks just before or after the peak summer tourist rush, can dramatically reduce costs on everything from campsites to hostel beds to rental cars, while also giving you a more relaxed experience without the crowds that flood popular destinations during June, July, and August. Building slack into your schedule matters too, because rushing from place to place tends to force expensive choices like last-minute flights or overpriced meals grabbed out of desperation, whereas a slower pace allows you to shop around, cook your own food, and wait for better deals on transportation and lodging. Traveling with a companion, whether a friend, partner, or someone you meet along the way, can also stretch your $50 daily budget significantly further, since splitting the cost of a campsite, a rental car, or even a hostel private room often brings the per-person cost down close to what a dorm bed would have cost anyway, while adding a layer of safety and shared memories to the experience. Working odd jobs along the way, such as seasonal work at a national park lodge, a ski resort, or an agricultural farm, has become an increasingly popular way for long-term budget travelers to fund extended trips, since many of these jobs include free or heavily discounted housing and meals as part of the compensation package, effectively allowing you to travel for months while barely touching your savings. Volunteering through work exchange programs offers a similar benefit, where a few hours of labor each day at a hostel, farm, or eco-lodge earns you free accommodation and sometimes meals, letting your daily cash budget stretch to cover only incidental expenses. Technology has made budget travel across America easier than ever before, with apps that help you find the cheapest gas prices in your area, apps that locate free camping spots on public land, apps that compare grocery prices at nearby stores, and apps that connect drivers heading in your direction with passengers looking to split fuel costs. So spending some time before your trip setting up these tools on your phone will save you money every single day you are on the road. Travel insurance, while an upfront cost, should not be skipped even on a tight budget, because a single unexpected medical emergency or vehicle breakdown without coverage could wipe out weeks of careful saving in a single afternoon. And basic policies designed for domestic travel are often surprisingly affordable when compared to the financial risk they protect against. Packing smart before you leave home also directly affects your daily budget once you are on the road, since arriving with the right gear, including a reusable water bottle, a portable phone charger, weather-appropriate clothing, and basic first aid supplies, means you will not be forced into expensive last-minute purchases at tourist-trapped gas stations or convenience stores along your route. Laundry is a small but recurring cost that budget travelers often forget to plan for, and seeking out hostels or campgrounds with free laundry facilities, or simply hand washing essentials in a sink when needed, can save you several dollars every week that add up over the course of a longer trip. Staying connected without overspending on data plans is another practical consideration, and relying on free Wi-Fi at libraries, cafes, and visitor centers, combined with an affordable prepaid data plan, keeps your communication costs low while still allowing you to navigate, research free activities, and stay in touch with family back home. Ultimately, traveling the USA on $50 a day comes down to a mindset shift as much as a budgeting strategy, because the travelers who succeed at this are the ones who reframe cheap experiences not as sacrifices but as opportunities. Viewing a night under the stars in a national forest is more memorable than a hotel room, and a home-cooked campsite meal is more satisfying than an overpriced restaurant plate. This approach to travel also tends to create deeper connections with the places you visit, since walking instead of driving, cooking instead of dining out, and camping instead of booking hotels all force a slower, more immersive relationship with your surroundings that many higher budget travelers never get to experience. The freedom that comes from proving to yourself that a $50 daily budget is not only survivable but genuinely fulfilling opens the door to longer trips, more spontaneous detours, and a completely different relationship with money and travel that many people carry with them long after the trip itself has ended. Whether your route takes you through the national parks of the American West, the small towns of the rural South, the vibrant cities of the East Coast, or the endless coastline of the Pacific, the strategies remain the same. Prioritize free and low-cost lodging, choose transportation options that stretch your dollar, cook the majority of your own meals, seek out free activities and natural attractions, and remain flexible enough to take advantage of unexpected opportunities along the way. And you will find that $50 a day stretches far further than most people ever imagined possible across this enormous and endlessly diverse country.